Join us June 15th through the 18th at Sparrowhawk Campgrounds for Rock the River 2023 with the Cottonmouth Kings, Josie Scott, Paralandra, and Tantric. It's time to grab the yaks and rock the dad bods with the Almas, Magdalene Rose, Awaken the Giant, Shelter and Play, Seventh Day Slumber, and over 24 local and regional bands. Rock the River 2023, June 15th through the 18th in town. What is up, everybody? Welcome to the show on a special night, not a Monday, but a Tuesday. I am your host with the locks that rocks, even though they're tangled up as can be. And this is your official podcast of Rocklahoma, Surviving Rocklahoma. And we are glad to have everyone joining us tonight. I see all of you folks in the comments. Look at you all rolling in. I see Camp Black Pearl is in the house and representing. There's Christian, the trippy vet from Camp Rok A Vet. The Grinch has made it from Camp Kinklahoma. And I see several other. Oh, there's the Black Pearl. Darren Pilkington, thank you so much for your help this past week or two. Actually, the past month, we should say, with the Rocklahoma Campgrounds map, a endeavor that we have been continuing for several years. And we're going to be getting into all of that shortly. Let me get back into the show so it's actually where we should be. But yes, once again, it is Tuesday of Memorial Day post weekend. How was y'all's Memorial Day? I'd like to see you there in the comments. Let me know how your Memorial Day it was. If you've got a big story or a Memorial Day experience that you would like to share, shoot me an email, survivingrocklahoma@gmail.com. I'd love to share your stories either on the show, on the Facebook page, or on the website. You never know. Mostly a good time, Heather says. Chris says 92 days to go till Rocklahoma. You know, before we get into the show, we are going to go ahead and take care of our wonderful sponsors, the folks who help support this show and keeping it going. So I don't have to go do an OnlyFans page or something to keep this thing going. It's not cheap to keep a podcast going that can touch folks all over the country. And, you know, we've actually been spotted across the globe in several other countries as well, thanks to Spotify and iHeartRadio, iTunes, all those places you get your podcasts. We're on there, and we've been making waves all over the world. It's pretty crazy just to think, because, you know, this is what we've Chris says he'll pay me to keep my clothes on. Thank you. I see Jason is in the comments. Camp Rok A Vet is in the house, full force. We see some folks on from YouTube. Bocock is at a show at the Vanguard tonight, so the Gimp won't be here. Went to Sparrowhawk Camp and had a blast. Janine says. Glad to see you folks joining us from YouTube. The Camp Royal crew is in the house. Glad to see. Alrighty, folks. So before we get into the show, now normally this is where I crack open a cold one, but I drank them all. So I don't have one to open with y'all tonight, but I will still indulge with a cheers with you fine folks. But we always do that after we pay homage to the folks that helps us out. First up is DEB Concerts, who answers the question, what do you want to do with your life? I want to rock! And Rocky has been. Rock the BOK he does on, whenever he's rocking a venue here in Tulsa. But you may know DEB Concerts as DEB Concert Stage, which is now housed inside the Roadhouse at Rocklahoma. And you've seen the lineup, folks. Let's pull this up here real quick. Who we got? We got Godsmack, Pantera, Rob Zombie, Limp Bizkit, Bush, Chevelle, Corey Taylor, Daughtry. We know all of those bands, and I can see some that I would expect to see on the DEB stage. I would expect to see some Bat Allison, 90 Pound Wrench, Shot of Poison, who I caught up and hung with this past January at Rock Island. We're going to go balls to the walls with the Bullet Boys. Smooth up in ya. Also want to give a huge props to At Your Service Rentals, your official suppliers of portable restrooms at Rocklahoma. Not just for the facility itself. Well, primarily it is for that. But you can get your own portable restroom for your campsite at not only Rocklahoma, but Born and Raised as well. Well, maybe you don't even need a portable restroom. Maybe you've got your own camper, right? But you invited somebody and they filled it all up, and now you can't even get in, and you need somebody to come and take care of that. And dude, what's that guy doing behind the camper over there?
Dinner was full.
Yeah, well, he didn't call At Your Service Rentals, but you can. Call At Your Service Rentals. They can deliver your own portable restroom for your campsite. They can clean out your clean out your campers or RVs, and they've got swimming pools that you can rent for your campsite at those festivals as well. So you can beat the heat and you can squat in confidence. Thanks again to AYS Rentals. Reservations are open now. Now, also want to give a huge shout out to Camp Rok A Vet, who we've been working with for several years, and we've helped facilitate giving away over 50 passes to veterans, not only to Rocklahoma, but Born and Raised as well. And they're getting veterans to concerts outside of that, because Camp Rok A Vet, they're an aspiring nonprofit group, and all they want to do is give the medicine that is music. And that's what they stand for, and I'm glad to stand by them. And also want to give a special thank you to Camp Rok A Vet for everything you do for your veterans. All 365 days a year, but especially weekends like this past weekend with Memorial Day. And so if you didn't, please make sure that you reach out and just thank everybody in your life who puts their lives on the line for our country, and make sure that you always hold a sacred spot in your heart for those who did pay that ultimate sacrifice to protect our freedoms. And with that being said, we are going to go ahead and move on to our next sponsor, one of our new ones. That would be the Rocklahoma Bitches. I am so glad to be working with these fine ladies. And you know what? the Rocklahoma Bitches, they just want to facilitate a great time had by all. And it's not just Rocklahoma. It's born and raised too. But don't just take it from me. You know what? How about taking it from 2022 born and raised artist
Rocklahoma Bitches.
Thank you, Nikki James. It was so awesome to sit down with Nikki, and you can also catch that interview on our YouTube channel. And he also signed a guitar that we're going to be giving away here in a couple of months as well. We also linked up. I don't have the logo and that fancy sound effect for him or anything, but we also have joined up with Rocklahoma's Big Ole Bus, because you know what, we're at almost all of the same music festivals anyway, so might as well work hand in hand. So, and you know, whenever I just party too hard, at least I got a DD. I'll just go over and hitch a ride on the Big Ole Bus. You can catch them at Rocklahoma. You can't miss them if you cross from the general admission to the VIP at Rocklahoma. You cannot miss this giant big old bus that just attracts masses. And they've also linked up with Camp Rok A Vet as well. So it's just, you know, all one big family facilitating a good time. And they are also going to be at Rock the River, which is going to be the next festival that we are going to be covering. And it's just a couple of weeks away, June 15th through the 18th. And we're going to get into that here a little bit in the show. But as I said, this is where we usually open a can of beer, but I'm parched and I ran out. So we're going to I'm changing things up. Whatever it is you guys are celebrating, as we say in the inner circles that I like to hang out with, cheers. All right, everybody, the show, we can get it going. All right. Ooh, that strawberry cough lived up to its name. 1 second. Woo. All right. So it was Memorial Day this past weekend, and it was not the type of Memorial Day that we, who have been frequenting Rocklahoma for years and years past, are used to celebrating, because as we know, Rocklahoma is on its new holiday, Labor Day, in September. But that didn't stop us, because, you know, Memorial Day, you know, so many folks have fought and died for our freedoms. We have to enjoy and indulge in our freedoms to excess levels. I know I did. What did you guys do? I spent the better part of the weekend out on the river, the Illinois River here in Tahlequah, Oklahoma, where a lot of you folks are going to be joining me. I was breaking in the new kayak that we bought a couple of weeks ago, and we are getting it all water worthy, figuring out everything that I'm going to need to bring with me so I am prepared for that Rock the River float trip here in a couple of weeks. Chris says he sees some fellow Kinklahoma members. That's good. Don't smoke, but we'll have a gummy. Yeah. Cheers, Lori. So what about you folks? Now, I know there was a couple of birthdays that was celebrated. So I want to give a huge shout out to all of my fellow Geminis that celebrated birthdays this weekend. I know my good friend Christy Gross did last weekend. Our favorite Rocklahoma Christmas tree turned another year older this past weekend, and we've saw several other folks in the last couple of days as well. So happy birthday to all of you fine folks. Jason Troy, a rocker's closer, y'all. Yeah, yes. Hub's birthday was Sunday. Happy birthday. I knew I saw some of you Rocklahoma people this weekend all celebrating. We also had some live music going around Tulsa. Did any of you guys catch any of those shows? If you do, make sure that you send those live music reviews, the photos, clips, all of that good stuff to survivingrocklahoma@gmail.com. Now, as I was floating the river the last couple of days, I did notice that there's a lot of information out there that folks really needed, but they didn't quite have. And so I figured for this week, it may be a little late for some of you folks, but being that a lot of you are going to be coming into town in a couple of weeks, I thought that this would be a good time to take advantage of this platform and give you guys a little bit of survival when it comes to our precious Illinois River. And I'm going to go ahead and throw this up on the big screen for you all. Now, if you all aren't familiar with Tahlequah, hi, that's Tahlequah right here on the lower left. Now, if you head east from Tahlequah, you will find Highway 10. Highway 10 also shoots all the way up to Siloam Springs, and as you know, 412 will take you on to Tulsa. So the reason I'm showing all of you folks this is because there are a ton of places where you can put in and you can float the river. There's almost all of these hollows, such as Round Hollow, Peavine Hollow, No Head Hollow. There's a lot of public access areas, and in all of these public access areas, you can go swim, you can camp, you can put your personal flotation devices in. There's also a list here. And Chris in the comments brings up a very, very good point. Do not I don't recommend the 12 mile without sunscreen. That is a very, very good point, folks. Anytime that you are going to be on the river or a waterway, use plenty of sunscreen. Apply every couple of hours. Now, I'm showing you this information for a couple of reasons. Now, a lot of people wasn't sure where you can actually go and float and swim this here in town. And there was a statement that was put out on social media about the GRDA, the Grand River Dam Authority, enforcing all of the rules and regulations on the river, but no one really knew where to find them. And I'm also going to share this PDF that I found on the website. So for those of you who might have been intimidated by the post that you saw on Facebook, here's the main gist of it. If you are going to be on the river, the Illinois River, children 12 years and under are required by law to wear a life jacket the entire time. Don't let them take it off. Just keep them, anytime they're on the water, keep that life jacket. There's also glass and styrofoam are prohibited on the river and gravel bars. You will be fined if they find styrofoam or glass aboard any of your vessels. Do not tie your flotation devices together. I know a lot of you folks do it. I will confess I've done it in the past, but here's why. On that Illinois River, there are a lot of structures obstructions, rocks, trees, things under the water that you can't quite see. And if you have vessels tied together, you can't maneuver as easily. And then that's when people capsize and they go underwater. And some of our good friends have to go out in the river and rescue you. To prevent litter, please, ice chests should be secured by a strap to keep them from spilling and limited to 48 quarts or less. Free trash bags are available at the GRDA, and you can find them everywhere. Always pack a trash bag. Jet skis, airboats, hovercrafts, and boats, anything with motors over 10 horsepower are prohibited. They will pull you off the river. I did see that happen yesterday. They pulled a guy in a boat off of the river. So do not bring your motorized craft on the river. Also, folks, just be aware, alcohol and distilled spirits rules. Spirits, for those of you who aren't exactly sure, that's like wine and, that hard liquor. That all stuff is all addressed. Do not get yourselves those heavy fines. So I did want to make sure that we wanted to let you all know what you can and can't do, because we do have a certain river festival coming up that we are going to be covering, and we will be doing we'll be covering it, and we're going to be floating with you folks at ROK the River, June 15th through the 18th. And anytime you're down in Tahlequah, give us a holler at Surviving Rocklahoma. You might even catch us out there. We're going to be floating up and down the river and promoting this amazing festival that we got coming up just around the corner. I feel like there's something else I was really wanting to show you folks. Oh yeah. So a lot of you, some of you may not be familiar with exactly where Sparrowhawk Camp is. Now, I showed you all where all of those public access areas are. Those are areas you can put in for a small fee. You'll have to pay $1 to float for the day, or you can get float passes for a year for $10 through the GRDA if you're using your own personal flotation device. And then any of these float places will be happy to shuttle you up the river. But I wanted to let you all know where exactly Sparrowhawk Camp is. So if you come into Tahlequah, you'll just head on straight over out of town, and you will hit the bridge, and you cannot miss Sparrowhawk. It's like the fourth maybe float place up, and they have a route that, as one of the folks in the comments was just saying, one of the most beautiful sights to be seen on the river, Elephant Rock, will be on the route that we take when we go floating here in a couple of weeks. I mean, is the fee just for my feet, or Lori? What's a foot fee? Yeah, sorry, folks. I'm trying to read and speak at the same time, and it doesn't always work out right. Yeah, there's a small fee that you have to pay. It's $1 to float for a day, or you can pay $10 to the GRDA or one of the authorized float places in town. Sparrowhawk Camp is one of those authorized places that can get you that annual pass so that you can take your own kayaks and rafts and float on the river and not have to worry about it. It's only $10. I paid mine this past weekend, and now I don't ever have to worry about it again, as long as I follow these rules that I've outlined to you guys. So you've been warned. Watch your speeds on Highway 10. No glass, no styrofoam. don't tie your stuff together. Make sure you bring a lot of sunscreen. You have dry boxes, so that you can keep your cell phone and your IDs and all of that stuff protected and dry, so you don't ruin all of that other stuff. And then other than that, folks, just bring a happy and a positive attitude, because it is going to be an amazing time. And let's see what all we've got next. I wanted to make sure that we hit that. And I will be sharing that image, that document that I was just showing you on survivingrocklahoma.com. And that does, brings us on to Rock the River, June 15th through the 18th. We've got some great bands that are going to be playing, including Cottonmouth Kings, the original voice of Saliva, Josie Scott, Paralandra, Tantric, Seventh Day Slumber, Shelter in Place, Awaken the Giant, Magdalene Rose, the Almas, Machines Etched in Embers, Nine Left Dead. We featured Mad Libby just last week, as well as Travis Bond and the Rebel Souls the week before. And I cannot tell you, folks, how excited I am to catch this concert. We're going to talk a little bit about it just coming up after this track, featuring one of the bands that are going to be playing at this great festival on the river. This is a new lyric video that they sent me for one of their newer tracks. This is the Normandys with Mr. Jameson.
Mr. Jameson, you've been here through it all. Through Jack and Jim and the captain, you'll be there when I fall. Those I can't remember, you know who you are. Without you, I never would have made it this far. So let's raise a glass to the times that Jim and the captain, you'll be there when I fall. Those I can't remember, you know who you are. Without you, I never would have made it this far. Here's to Mr. Jameson, you've been here through it all. To Jack and Jim and the captain, you'll be there when I fall. Those I can't remember, you know who you are. Without you, I never would have made it this far.
And that was the Normandys with Mr. Jameson. You can catch the Normandys with a plethora of other bands Oh, come on. You got that reference if you knew that video. If you don't know the video, I don't know if we can be friends. Let's just, come on. My shout outs to The Three Amigos, one of the greatest comedy movies of all time. But as El Jefe said, we do have a plethora. And it's a plethora of bands at Rock the River, June 15th through the 18th. Headlined by the Cottonmouth Kings, Josie Scott of Saliva, Paralandra, Tantric, and yes, the Normandys. We are going to be jamming out all weekend long. Guys, bring your family. It's at Sparrowhawk Camp, beautiful campgrounds. They've been working feverishly on getting it nice, and man, they are overhauling this camp. Huge shout out to Asa, one of the hardest working SOBs I have ever seen on the river. Once you guys get out there and you see this man working, you're going to know what I'm talking about. So, and that's the other reason I read all those rules to y'all, so he don't have to work as hard. So, yeah. Join us at Rock the River, June 15th through the 18th. We are going to be doing floats. I think Saturday, I know we're going to be doing a float trip. And we are also going to be giving away a couple of guitars that I got signed by a bunch of Rocklahoma 2022 bands. No, not 22 bands, but a bunch of Rocklahoma 2022 artists that we had the pleasure of interviewing and interacting with at the media tent. We will be back this year in the media tent for Rocklahoma. Now, we were also blessed to have been able to award tickets, general admission passes to Rocklahoma, courtesy of Rocklahoma. Now, I'm going to have to get all of our winners turned in. So, if you haven't reached out to me and you were one of those wonderful winners, I've got my list right here. But I need to make sure that I don't miss anybody. So, I'm going to be going back over the footage. For those of you who have won prizes from me, from Surviving Rocklahoma, make sure you email survivingrocklahoma@gmail.com, and if you would be so kind and include the episode where we called your name so that we can confirm. I want to make sure that everybody gets what they are entitled to. And if I did my math right, I have another set of passes to give away. And I'm not going to give them away here on the show tonight. I do apologize. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make you guys work for them. How many of you guys do TikTok? I think a lot of you are on TikTok. I see a lot of creative people on TikTok. What I want to see is somebody taking a Rocklahoma 2023 artist, and I want to see you do a lip sync video to one of our 2023 artists. Make sure that you tag Surviving Rocklahoma and you email the link to survivingrocklahoma@gmail.com, and the person with the most votes or the most likes will get a prize. And it's going to be something nice. So that's what you're going to have to do. I'm going to make sure, but yeah, we're going to do some GA passes for that TikTok video. Something for you all to be thinking about tonight. I'm going to make sure I've got everything before I make it official, and then we'll do that. And I'm sorry, Kendra. I'm sorry. I made it easy for everybody to win these passes. Anyone had to do for the last 4 passes that I gave away, 4 groups of passes, 4 pairs of passes, is tuned into the show. So now we're going to do something fun. We're going to do something special. And the winner, we will play their video on surviving Rocklahoma. How's that? So for a chance to win GA passes to Rocklahoma 2023, bust out that TikTok. Ask the kids, ask your friends, ask somebody you know that deals with the TikTok, and have them show you how to work it. And I want to see a lip sync video to a Rocklahoma 2023 band. And we'll see what we can do for that. So that's how you can win another set of passes. Aside from that, we also know that we are getting close to not only Rock the River, but Rocklahoma and Rock the Equinox. And a lot of those camps like to do swag. They like to order shirts. They like to do the wristbands and all the fun, cool stuff. If you folks have a camp and you would like to hook up some Rocklahoma family and have some giveaways here on Surviving Rocklahoma, get at me at survivingrocklahoma@gmail.com, because it's getting about that season where we love to give swag away. So if you would like to give some stuff away, I would love to pretend to be Santa Claus. I just hung out with a freaking live Christmas tree. I want to play Santa, and we want to give away some swag. So holler at me, y'all. survivingrocklahoma@gmail.com, and we'll do some giveaways for the Rocklahoma family. Now, with that also being said, the time is ticking. It is, we do a Rocklahoma campgrounds map, and we have it on survivingrocklahoma.com. If you click on the campgrounds map tab on that website, it'll bring you up a nice page. It's got an aerial view of the property so you can find your bearings, you can see where everything's at, but it's also got a PDF so that it's mobile friendly. You can pick up your cell phone, you can pinch, you can zoom and zoom in and out, and you can find where all of your favorite campsites are. There's a directory where you can find all of the cool parties and events and all of the contests and everything that's going on Rocklahoma weekend, Labor Day, that first weekend of September. That is all available on survivingrocklahoma.com. Now, with all of that being said, we got a lot of folks that have submitted their campsites to be listed on that map. If you would like to be listed on that map, all you got to do is go to that very same page, survivingrocklahoma.com, click on the campgrounds map tab, and at the very bottom, there's a form for you to submit your camp to be on the campgrounds map. Now, the reason why I repeated that several times is we've got some great folks that helped us out this year with the map. Darren Pilkington is one that was essential in getting our form completed so that it made everything easy for us so that we don't lose information and we don't have to constantly keep updating a Facebook comment post and all of that stuff. Fallon was also essential in keeping all of our information together and keeping us organized. And she's also going to be doing an all campgrounds shirt that we're going to be, I don't know if she's going to be selling them or what, but if you would like your campsite listed on the all campsites shirt, make sure that you get your camp submitted to the Rocklahoma Campgrounds map, because here in the next week or two, she is going to be getting that list and putting it on the shirt. We've also got some really killer ideas on some Rocklahoma merch. Now, last week I created the Rocklahoma merch store. I got it all ready, but now Teespring's being difficult. So that store hasn't dropped yet, but I've got some other friends that have got some great ideas for some things that we are going to have available for you folks. We just got to work out all of the details, but I can't wait to be able to see our logo that was designed by Angel Lee of photography by Angel Lee, and see that just plastered all over all of your stuff on the form of stickers, shirts, towels, and all of this other stuff. I'm working on some beach towels so that you can be wrapped up in them and drying off when you're on the Illinois River here next month. Chris Roberts says, I have to work for the river, right? I just walk around with a ton of alcohol. Scott says, you know what, me too. You know what, folks, I've been flapping my gums for quite a bit, and we've been talking a lot about Rock the River, and I've got another festival that we are going to be covering after Rocklahoma. But before we get into that, I want to play some more music that came in on the submission lines. Somebody that we love to feature here on Surviving Rocklahoma. We've got some folks that have been giving their feedback. And I tell you folks, when you message or you email Surviving Rocklahoma, those things do not fall on deaf ears. Well, technically they do, but all right, that was dark. But I do see your input, and I see some folks that, you know what, they said we need a little bit heavier stuff. You play a lot of a nice mix of a lot of stuff, but sometimes we just want to just rock our metal faces off. And you know what? I say, I hear you. So you know what? Here's some Harakiri.
The sky.
fucked up that one part.
And that was Harakiri with Betrayal of the Heart. One of my favorite new songs to come out this year. And I told you guys I was going to rock your face. Did I lie? I mean, these guys just freaking destroy every freaking time I've ever seen them play. They're absolutely entertaining. You've got to see them anytime they come to a venue near you. And that's how we support local music, folks. We talk about it, we feature them, we tell you all where they're going to be, and then we just rock out loud, local, and live. That's what we do right here on Surviving Rocklahoma. And, you know, it is winding down the hour. It is about time to close it out. And I just want to say thank you, folks. Thank you so much for supporting the podcast. I love doing this each and every week. It is a highlight of my week every time we talk, and especially anytime I go to Tulsa and we bump into all of you fine folks as we are out there enjoying our live local music. If you would like your band featured on Surviving Rocklahoma, a podcast that transcends platforms, we are beyond just Facebook Live. We are on all of the podcast networks, iHeart, iTunes, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, we are there. And if you would like your music played there, submit that music, survivingrocklahoma@gmail.com. And if you're going to be on tour, you're going to be playing in the area, do me a favor, in that email, submit your gigs while we're at it so we can put you on the concert calendar. We like to talk about it from time to time here on the show. But it doesn't matter how you are consuming the content. Like, follow, subscribe, especially on that YouTube channel, guys. We are pushing for 1,000 subscribers. We're a quarter of the way there, but once we get up to 1,000, we can do some really cool stuff that I've been waiting to do for quite some time. But we don't get there unless you head over to that YouTube channel, search for Surviving Rocklahoma, and click that subscribe button. And while you're at it, make sure that you check out that awesome playlist, if I do say so myself, on Spotify. It is called Rock the River 2023. You can see Adam Richmond is the author. It's got all of your favorite bands that are going to be playing at that music festival, and it is amazing tunes to be blaring as loud as you can as you float down that Illinois River as you prepare for the festival next month. At least I know I do. Make sure you get those waterproof bags, you get all of those flotation devices, and you get those waterproof speakers. No glass, no styrofoam, folks. Respect the river, please. And also, folks, respect our sponsors. Thank you so much, DEB Concerts. I just want you to know something. It is because of you I get to tell everybody. I wanna rock. And don't be like Cousin Eddie.
Dinner was full.
Call AYS Rentals so he can provide you with your own portable restroom at Rocklahoma and Born and Raised Music Festivals. Also, folks, be sure that you join the Camp Rok A Vet Facebook group. If you've got some veterans in your life that love music, link them up with this group because they are a great group of folks. They are linking veterans up. It is becoming a sub-community in itself. And they get some really cool stuff away from time to time too. So it's really awesome. You can check them out not only at Rocklahoma, not only at Rock the River, but they are also going to be helping us run the registration booth for those guitars that we're going to be giving away next month. One will be going to a civilian. all you veterans out there, make sure you bring an ID that shows your veteran status or your military status so you can get entered to win your very own veteran guitar. I'm going to have 2 guitars, one to a civilian, one to a veteran. Thank you to Camp Rok A Vet for helping us run that registration. Also want to give a huge shout out to the Rocklahoma Bitches. It just doesn't have the same ring to it. Nikki James.
Rocklahoma Bitches.
Damn right. We will be at Born and Raised Music Festival again this year, and at Rocklahoma we're going to try to get a couple more guitars signed by everyone we get to interview. Only this year's guitar is going to be going away to the winner of the 2023 Rocklahoma Scavenger Hunt, and it will be awarded there on site that weekend. That's Sunday. So make sure you get all of that information on the Rocklahoma Scavenger Hunt, because when that they set you all loose, the grand prize is going to be one. It's going to be, not only is it going to be a one-of-a-kind guitar, but if everything goes right, you're going to get a once-in-a-lifetime experience as well. And I don't have their graphic yet, but huge shout out to the Big Ole Bus for doing everything you do to facilitate all of us rambunctious riffraff that is just seeking mayhem and shenanigans. And the Big Ole Bus, they never cease to deliver. And they're not only are they going to be at Rocklahoma, they're also going to be at Rock the River and Rock the Equinox this year as well. We are glad to be linked up with them. If you would like to partner with Surviving Rocklahoma, shoot me an email, survivingrocklahoma@gmail.com. But that does it for me this week, folks. Just please do me a favor. Stay on the positive side of life. And as always, rock on.